It is the Fulhamish quick take after Fulham's 3-2 win over Liverpool at Craven Cottage. The league leaders defeated for the first time away from home all season. Only their second defeat in the league all season. What a performance. Maybe the best performance of the season by the Whites. We're here at the Craft Beer Co. Joined by Dan. Hello.
Hi, Sammy. Amazing. What a day. After what a rubbish week to sign off like that. I just can't believe it.
Fulham really have an ability to surprise you when you least expect it. The defeat by Palace in the Cup, obviously a pretty meek defeat to Arsenal, even if the scoreline was narrow, the performance was abysmal. To then turn up against the champions in white is so amazingly Fulham.
It is, and I was really annoyed this morning on the way to the ground. I was really annoyed. I was like, oh, screw you, Fulham. So I was walking to Craven Cottage thinking, I could just see us not losing today. I could see us doing something today. And I hated the fact that this team has given me some weird sense of hope coming into games that we have no right to be even close to getting a result out of. And yeah, I thought, even the first 10 minutes before the Liverpool goal, there was a little bit like, oh, hang on. We look up for this, we look at them. So it's classic for them to start like that and then concede straight away. But it just, that whole first half felt like a team that's mustered up some confidence and some drive from somewhere. And yeah, I don't know where they pulled it from after this week, but fair play for them.
Yeah, fair play for them. We're here at Craft Beer Co. Perfect place for a pre or post match pint. I'm on the Czech lager today. Got a beautiful selection of beers here. So if you're going to the Chelsea match, yes, SB6 derby in a couple of weeks, pop into Craft Beer Co. Lovely, beautiful, especially when the sun's shining, and the sun was shining on us today, Dan. Obviously, you mentioned it was a bad start. Well, actually, it wasn't a bad start, but the fact that we went 1-0 down. I thought in the build-up it was a bit of a foul, and then I've looked at it back, and it's kind of a bit of nothing. It's just a really good goal, isn't it?
It is. McAllister loves it against us, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He is a very good footballer. He's got a beautiful strike on him, and from where I am and from where you are at the Hammersmith end, you can just see it as soon as he leaves his boot, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's going in. And I thought the same. It looked like, and in real time, it looked like Rodrigo was sort of being cemented to the ground, but I think it was one of those where I think he's got his hands around the back of Canate as well. It's a bit of 50-50. It was frustrating because it felt so easy to sort of glide through the middle, and unfortunately for Sander Berge, I think it's probably him out of position that means he can't quite get back. He sort of tries to grab it and can't get around the right side. But outside of that, we were saying before, I thought he was immensely in the front. For a team like Liverpool who swarm you and have such intensity, his ability to remain calm, to always be an option to receive the ball, to drive forward, that was Rolls Royce from him.
And like you, I had a weird feeling before this as well. More just, not necessarily because I thought tactically we would get the better of Liverpool or anything, just that kind of feeling that Fulham always turn up a little bit when you least expect it. However, once we were 1-0 down, I expected absolutely nothing. I was fully prepared for this to be a 3-4-0. We get a goal from nowhere. And shock horror, it's Ryan Sessegnon. Is that not the most Ryan Sessegnon goal ever? Just pure instinct. Fox in the box, waiting for it to drop. It's exactly what we all said. That's why pretty much every Fulham fan I know said, I just want to see Ryan Sessegnon play. Most of us wanted on the right wing. He's just got something about him. No, you can't teach it. It is just pure instinct. And I mean, there was no more popular goal scorer today, even though there was a few.
It was such a lovely moment. And the moment at the end of the game as well, when it comes to take exaggeration from the fans. But it's 15-20 minutes of Cess not really being in the game. It's probably one of those things that should excite everyone, because you're like that means a goal's coming. That means he's going to sniff something out. And it's, total classic Ryan Sessegnon. Cross into the box, I think as that ball's coming over, nothing's coming out of it. It's not going to a Fulham player. It's a poor clearance, and the one person who doesn't switch off is Seth, and he hits it so clean. Quality finish. And I was with you. I think at 1-0 down, I thought it feels like one of those that Liverpool win 2-0 at a bit of a canter. The atmosphere turned a bit sour in the Hammersmith end because of, again, all the Liverpool fans who were in there. And I think so there was a bit of, and that goal just lifted the whole place. It just changed the whole feeling, and from then on, it was all us. That second half, that first half, second half of it, all Fulham.
Well, there was 14 minutes between the 3 goals, which is just sensational. Alex Iwobi got the second. It's not one that Andy Robertson's going to want to watch back, is it? It was his misplaced pass to Iwobi. Then it looked like Liverpool had it back under control, and then Robertson headed it back to Iwobi. And then just to help it on its way, he thought he'd deflect it past Kelleher. I mean, it's quite funny, especially considering he got sent off against us in the reverse fixture. I think Andy Robertson's has enough for Fulham.
Yeah, I think he has. Unfortunately, he's putting in a great advert for them to buy Anthony Robinson, isn't he?
Yes.
Because on the other side, Jekko was superb. It's a weird one, that one. Again, sort of nothing happening, and Liverpool just playing themselves into trouble, which happened a few times. And it was, I think we give him praise now. Andreas Pereira's relentless pressing in that first half is what creates these chances happening. Him and Rodrigo Muniz together just did not stop, and that's where you get a bit of a lazy waft of the foot and a bit of a panic, square across the front of your own goal. And I was going to say Alex Iwobi does well. I think he does okay, and somehow ends up scoring. But it was probably the best he's played in a long time that first half, which was really promising to see, and maybe vindication for the fact that he didn't start on Tuesday night, and he just does enough. And it's I'm surprised he didn't get dragged off sooner, because I thought in that first half he was. And when you've got, they clearly had options on the bench. The way they changed it up in the second half, I'm surprised it didn't come sooner.
Yeah, and then the third goal, the real icing on the cake. Body moves with the most exceptional touch. Virgil van Dijk is still spinning somewhere in the other half of the Craven Cottage pitch. It is an exceptional touch. And a good finish to boot between Kelleher's legs. I didn't realise it was in when it went in the Hammersmith end. I thought everyone was cheering despite it hitting the side netting. So what do I know? It's a sensational turn and finish from Muniz. We know he's got that quality, and obviously, yes, the goal was great, but he was really up for it today as well, and made life a nightmare, particularly for Konate.
Bergkamp-esque. It was very sort of Bergkamp spin round the corner, because no one thinks he's going to do that in that moment. And the other thing I was saying that makes it better than Bergkamp's is you 100% know that Rodrigo Muniz meant all of that. As he takes that touch, he is on the sort of the half turn already going round the back of Van Dijk. It's just delightful. From what we are absolutely certain, by the way, is that Alex won't be shot, right? That assist that Iwobi gets to that, which is bumping up Jack's double goals and assists today. A deflected goal and an assist which was a shot from 35 yards that goes straight up in the air, and then Muniz does all the rest of the work. It's superb, and to do that to a player who has been the best centre-back in the Premier League probably for the past 5 or 6 years, it is pretty special. And I agree, he just was a bully today and a nuisance, and he was smart as well, because there were times when he wasn't in for the physical battle. He was waiting for that second ball, and there was a moment in the second half where the ball goes long up to him, and he decides not to challenge Konate initially and wait to pounce on the false touch, and he wins a free kick and he drags Fulham up the pitch again. He was superb, and I think actually I would have just left him on. I feel like he didn't need to come off. He could have kept playing. I think he could still be playing now. He was like a big old bundle of energy, and that was a proper. But for someone who, as I was walking into Craven Cottage on the screens, they had the Sky Sports stats of his numbers this season, starting games versus coming off the bench. 1 goal in 6 starts, 6 goals off the bench. To get one starting and showing himself to be a starter, not just a finisher in games. Big day for him.
Yeah, 6 starts, is that it? I guess I think because he's started a lot of cup games, it feels like Muniz has started a lot more matches than that. That's pretty startling. Second half, I think there was a real feeling at half time of, not sure 3-1's enough. Not sure a 2-goal lead against this Liverpool side who love nothing more than a comeback is quite enough. In the end, it just about was. It was nervy. It was always going to be, I guess. They got one back through Luis Diaz, but I felt that actually the five at the back, although again there was quite a few heart-in-your-mouth moments, generally nothing too bad. Harvey Elliott hitting the bar is probably the closest they came. Look, we always were going to have to ride our luck. We were never going to just get away with this and them just give it up.
No, they weren't. And what a joy to see Kenny Tete back on the pitch, and for his first re-involvement in the Fulham shirt this season, to come in and slot in that back five and see us over the line is wonderful. Shame that it's a deal, but look, I was very hard on Joachim Andersen on Tuesday after the performance against Arsenal. Today was everything that we thought we were getting when we signed him. That ability to defend the box, I think he was... So many times the ball came in that last half an hour, and it was Joachim Andersen's head on it, it was Joachim Andersen's foot on it, just defending the box brilliantly. I think that's what he's great at.
Yeah.
And his distribution was good as well, and that was really pleasing to see. And again, happy to hold my hands up and say that I was harsh on Tuesday, but I've got to give him credit today. And then the other one is Calvin Bassett. Oh my God. Who is this guy? It's just obscene. Like twice today, to win the ball back off. The first time was definitely Salah. I can't remember who it was the second time. To win the ball back, look up and be like, oh, all right then, and just leg it 45 yards down the pitch, and then win a free kick. And, he is something else. Yeah, that's again like. I feel like there's the big statement. Players can make big statements in games like this when it's the match on television. You know, this was the game on telly. This is the game that everyone's watching in anticipation of the Manchester derby. Rodrigo Muniz, Calvin Bassett putting up performances like that is the sort of thing that people go like, whoa, who is this guy? And I was looking at that Liverpool back line. I think Calvin Bassett would have done a better job on the left side of their defence than Van Dijk did. I mean, look twice the player. It's amazing.
Yeah. Massive performances all over the pitch. I think probably between Muniz and Bassett, I guess, for man of the match. But honestly, I don't think there was a bad performance out there, was there? I mean, Leno pulled off some incredible saves, particularly the one from Diogo Jota at the beginning of the second half. I thought everyone out there impressed. I thought Lukic was good in the middle, Andreas worked his socks off. So we talked about Sess and Iwobi. Yeah, a really kind of just fantastically composed performance all around. And look, we've had a rough week. The Palace game was always going to take some time to get over, and the Arsenal performance was concerning. But now, if you look at what?
Go on.
If you look at it, I remember thinking before, like looking at yesterday's results, thinking it's a real shame we've made Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because 8th is there. It's crying out. We are in 8th. I think the top 7 is pretty much wrapped up. I think the Villas, the Newcastle, Cities, even the Chelsea and Forest, who I think might slide a bit. There's too many points ahead for them to slide really out of the top 7. 8th is up to grabs, and it is looking more likely that is going to be a Conference League spot unless Palace win the FA Cup. It's basically the only team that can stop that happening. It's so up for grabs now. Yeah. It really is. And the game against Bournemouth a week on Monday is huge. And we can talk to the cows come home whether we're ready for Europe and all of this, have we got a squad, but as an aim now, we've really put ourselves in a place by winning this. This is a statement win, and surely Marco's going to have no trouble motivating them. I don't think there's going to be any on the beach stuff now, because there's a real, tangible go and grab it buzz.
Yeah, and it's I think you made the cracking point about the fact that we are in 8th as well. That you sort of like, that's the motivation.
I can read the league table. I do make good points occasionally.
But that's ours now, you know what I mean? That's sort of like, that's the motivation. You like hold that position, and then as like that's where that first moment where you have to hold it comes Monday night next week against Bournemouth, and then again huge opportunity to make a statement win. I think Bournemouth did a bit iffy recently. They did well to get a point yesterday after looking like they were going to lose it. Yeah, big statement. I don't actually care if we're ready or we're not. I think these opportunities aren't frequent. Doesn't matter if we're ready. We'll have a summer to make ourselves ready if we do it. And the focus now is full guns blazing, go for it. And I think we've got players coming back now again, which is useful. Having Kenny Tete back in there, Harry Wilson back on the grass apparently, getting fit. You've got a Cess who's now locked down a starting position. Iwobi coming back into form. Rodrigo Muniz scoring goals. This is the complete antithesis of what we were last season, the season before, where it felt like gradually the wheels were just coming off. Players getting injured, players going out of form. Feels like we're going in a different trajectory at the moment, and that makes Monday night massive. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a big trip down to Bournemouth a week on Monday. We've got 8 days to celebrate, though. A victory against the league leaders, their second defeat of the season. I feel like it's really easy for us to overlook, and I know Liverpool have not been quite the same side in the last month, but I mean, funnily enough, it's probably will just about enter our top 5 moments of the season, considering what a campaign we've had. But it's
two defeats.
Just another feather in the cap for Marco.
Yeah, 2 defeats. It's astonishing. And the first one, and I'm not discrediting Forest, but comes early in the season and with a bit of a freak result. Whereas this, kind of at this point in the season where they put up this really sort of indestructible vibe in the Premier League, because they want about the other competitions. They have a ridiculous knack of getting points, getting wins in games where they look like they're cooked, they look like they're done. Got players who just turn it on, and for Marco again to put a team out that was like, do you know what? If I can get my best players playing their best football, my system is enough. And he didn't overthink it. He went with runners. He went with effort. He went with 2 destroyers in midfield with Pereira in front of them, and just backed our players. And I think he's great at that. When he gets it right like that, he's brilliant, because he's not necessarily the best tactician, but he is fantastic at bringing the best out of individual players. And he did that today. And yeah, what a feather in the cap that is. And as Avas said earlier, it's just now Manchester City that elude us as a win since we've been back in the Premier League under Marco Silva. So roll on last day of the season, needing 3 points to get Europe, and lock that one in as well.
On a European tour.
All right, well, that'll do for the quick day today, as my dad behind the camera just sings "We're all going on a European tour," not getting carried away at all with his bitter and talk scratching behind the camera. Thanks for watching today. Hit subscribe if you haven't hit subscribe to the channel already. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Sammy.
You whites. There he is.